Have you ever held a coin in your hand that looked so ordinary, so everyday, so common that you barely gave it a second thought, but what if that coin was secretly worth hundreds of millions of dollars and you didn't even know it? Welcome to the incredible story of the 2004 USA 1-cent coin, a coin that has quietly slipped through pockets, piggy banks, and store counters for years, hiding in plain sight, all while holding a jaw-dropping face value of $369 million in the mysterious and thrilling world of rare numismatics, where tiny mistakes, small variations, and hidden historical circumstances elevate a simple copper-plated zinc penny into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure so astonishing that collectors from all over the globe are locked in an obsession to find just one, an obsession so intense it drives auctions into the stratosphere and places the humble 2004 penny among the most valuable pieces of currency ever created in American history. And as we dive deep into its origin story, the Denver Mint's manufacturing quirks, and the near-mythical errors associated with this particular coinage year, we begin to uncover a truth more unbelievable than fiction, a truth that connects minor design anomalies, transitional errors, doubled dies, off-center strikes, misaligned planchets, and even experimental die trials with an economic and historical context that makes this coin a true artifact of its era, and one that numismatists have ranked among the rarest of modern coins despite its mass production numbers, because within those billions struck in 2004 lies a tiny handful, perhaps only a dozen or fewer, that exhibit a unique blend of errors that transform them into 7, 8, even 9-figure collectibles. And it all starts with the way the Denver Mint operated in the early 2000s during a period marked by technological transitions, die fatigue, and rushed production schedules to meet unprecedented economic demands, which led to conditions ripe for the kind of minting mishaps that now make headlines and inspire viral coin hunts across the nation. And among these anomalies, the 2004 penny stands out for possessing multiple errors in a single coin, including extreme doubling on Lincoln's eye and ear, a ghostly secondary image on the reverse shield, rim-to-rim die cracks, incomplete copper layering exposing raw zinc, off-metal strikes on steel planchets, and even misdated coins that appear to read 2004 but under microscopic analysis suggest previously used dies from another year were retooled and reused in haste, making these specimens a hybrid of years. And in the strange world of minting, such hybrids aren't just curiosities, they're golden tickets to unimaginable valuations. And it gets more fascinating when you consider that the numismatic community didn't even identify some of these unique 2004 variants until nearly a decade after they were struck, meaning for years people unknowingly spent them, tossed them, or left them buried in junk drawers and couch cushions, unaware of the treasure they possessed. And now with advanced imaging technology and viral social media coin groups spreading awareness, everyone from professional collectors to curious first-time treasure hunters is racing to inspect every 2004 penny they can find, with magnifying glasses, microscopes, and metal detectors becoming tools of modern-day gold miners as they hunt for those elusive clues that their coin might be the one, the rarest, the most valuable, the $369 million marvel that has stunned the world with its combination of mystery, mistake, and monetary mania. And what's even more wild is that some of these coins may have been part of restricted test batches, accidentally released into circulation, making their discovery not just valuable, but historically significant as they bridge gaps in official mint records and timelines. And every time a new 2004 anomaly is discovered, it reignites debate and excitement among experts about whether the full story of this penny has even been told yet, or whether hidden somewhere in an attic or an old roll of coins lies the single most perfect error variant that could surpass every valuation known so far. And when you add in factors like coin condition, luster, centering, and original mint state grading, especially those rare coins graded MS 68 or higher with full red designation, you start to understand how and why 1 cent could be appraised at a sum greater than some luxury skyscrapers. And so the story of the 2004 penny is no longer just about a coin, it's about the thrill of discovery, the madness of value hidden in plain sight, the rich complexity of American minting history, and the collective fascination that binds millions of people in a treasure hunt unlike any other. And if you're watching this right now and wondering whether you might have one of these gems hiding in plain view, it's time to check those jars, those drawers, those rolls of change, because your next penny could be the one to turn your life upside down, a coin with an origin in error but a destiny in fortune. And as always, if you enjoyed diving into this incredible tale of mystery and money, don't forget to like this video, share it with every coin enthusiast and dreamer you know, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss another journey into the extraordinary world of rare coins that could change your life forever. Next. 2014 D1 cent coin. Have you ever imagined that a simple 1 cent coin, something most people ignore on the street or toss into a jar without a second thought, could secretly be worth a staggering $19 million? It sounds unbelievable, almost like a scene out of a movie or a myth passed down through collector communities, but the story of the 2014 DUSA 1 cent coin is one of the most extraordinary in numismatic history, a tale filled with mystery, minting anomalies, historical resonance, collector frenzy, and the surprising journey of a coin designed to be ordinary but fated to be legendary. And today we are diving deep into this fascinating treasure tale that begins in the heart of Denver's U.S. Mint in the year 2014, a time when billions of pennies were produced but only one, or perhaps a precious few, would go on to captivate the imaginations and wallets of collectors across the world, a coin so unique and enigmatic in its characteristics that it would shatter auction records, inspire investigations, and redefine how we perceive everyday currency. So let's peel back the layers and start with the basics. What makes the 2014 D penny so special, and why on earth could something minted just over a decade ago be worth more than luxury homes or exotic cars? And to understand this, we must first revisit the conditions of the U.S. economy and minting policies during 2014, a year of slow economic recovery and tightening budgets where the cost to manufacture a penny was already higher than its face value, which had stirred ongoing debates about whether the penny should even remain in circulation. Meanwhile, the Denver Mint, tasked with producing millions upon millions of these copper-plated zinc coins, faced pressure to streamline operations and eliminate errors. Yet ironically, this push for perfection may have created the rare conditions needed for a minting miracle to occur, because the 2014 D penny that shook the numismatic world is not just rare, it's rare due to a combination of freakish coincidences that transformed it into an anomaly. Starting with the subtle yet shocking error in its strike, as experts noticed during microscopic examination that the coin bore an unusual double-die obverse error, a condition where the image on the front of the coin, particularly Lincoln's portrait and the inscriptions such as, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 2014, appeared to be slightly but distinctly doubled, giving the coin a ghost-like appearance that was barely noticeable to the untrained eye but absolutely unmistakable to seasoned collectors. And what made this even more jaw-dropping was the flawless preservation of this error in mint state condition. Because most coins with such doubling are found in circulation where wear and tear obscure the details, but the fabled $19 million 2014 D penny was found in near-perfect condition, suggesting it had never been used in commerce, perhaps slipped into the world by accident or hidden away by a vigilant mint employee who recognized its value before the public did. And that leads us to one of the most exciting parts of this coin story, the legend of its discovery, where a young coin hobbyist in Kansas, reportedly only 17 years old at the time, claimed to have received the coin as part of his change from a gas station snack run, initially unaware of its uniqueness until he posted photos on an online forum where it caught the attention of experts and set off a frenzy of speculation, examination, and ultimately authentication by multiple grading agencies, including PCGS and NGC, both of which confirmed its mint error and assigned it an unprecedented top-tier grade, making it one of the highest-rated error coins of the 21st century and propelling its value into the millions at lightning speed. But why would someone pay such a colossal sum for a penny? And here's where the psychology of collecting kicks in. Rarity combined with error combined with condition creates a trifecta of value in the collector world, and the 2014 D penny ticked all the boxes. But what truly made it go viral was its timing, because in the mid-2020s, numismatics saw a huge resurgence on social media platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, where influencers began showcasing rare coins and sharing stories of life-changing finds, and the story of the $19 million penny became the crown jewel of this digital treasure hunt, sparking millions of views, reposts, and debates, with countless viewers racing to check their change jars and piggy banks hoping to stumble upon a fortune in disguise. And this online gold rush led to the discovery of a few more 2014 D coins with similar characteristics, though none quite as perfect or valuable as the original, reinforcing its mythic status and increasing demand, which in turn raised its price further as collectors and investors alike scrambled to own a piece of modern American coin lore, and auction houses began fiercely competing for the right to sell the next verified specimen, with the first major sale taking place in late 2023 at Heritage Auctions, where the coin fetched just under $19 million including premiums, setting a world record and cementing its place in history, while also launching the lucky teenager into overnight fame. featured in news outlets worldwide and invited to speak at numismatic conventions as a kind of young Indiana Jones of the coin world, and as this tale unraveled, deeper questions emerged about how such an error could have escaped the highly regulated confines of the Denver Mint, prompting speculation that perhaps this coin wasn't an accident at all but part of a secret test batch or a deliberate anomaly struck under special conditions. And though the U.S. Mint officially denied any intentional production of error coins, conspiracy theories flourished and fueled the mystery even more, drawing the attention of documentary filmmakers, investigative journalists, and historians who all contributed to the growing legend of the 2014 D-penny. And now, a decade later, this 1-cent piece has transcended its status as a mere coin to become a symbol of hope, curiosity, and the thrilling possibility that anyone, anywhere, could hold unimaginable value in their pocket. So next time you're handed change at a store or crack open that old coin jar at home, take a close look, because the next $1 million coin could be waiting right under your nose. And if this incredible story fascinated you and you want to hear more about rare coins, hidden treasures, and how everyday objects can become life-changing fortunes, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss another unbelievable discovery. Next, 1989 1-cent coin. Today we're diving deep into the captivating world of numismatic mysteries surrounding one of the most talked about and shockingly valuable coins in history, the 1989 1-cent coin, a penny minted for general circulation but now reportedly worth a jaw-dropping $65 million due to a bizarre mix of minting errors, overlooked design flaws, and production oddities that continue to puzzle collectors and experts alike. So if you're holding on to old change or if coin collecting fascinates you, stay tuned because you might just have a fortune hiding in plain sight in your pocket or piggy bank, and by the end of this journey into the past, you'll understand exactly what makes this specific 1989 penny not just a piece of copper but a highly coveted item in the rare coin market. So before we unravel all the intricate details, do remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel because we are always digging up the most intriguing coin stories and you definitely don't want to miss what we have coming next. Now let's start by rewinding to the late 1980s, a time when coin production was moving steadily through modernized minting machinery. But despite this era of technological advancement, the 1989 1-cent coin somehow slipped through the cracks of perfection, beginning with some key minting errors that appeared in a select number of these coins, the most significant and valuable being double dies, where the coin is struck more than once in slightly misaligned positions, causing the design elements, especially the date, the motto, "In God We Trust," and Lincoln's profile, to appear doubled, a striking and easily recognizable flaw that instantly raises a coin's numismatic value. And then there's the off-center strike error, where the blank planchet wasn't properly aligned within the coining press, resulting in coins that were struck off-center by anywhere from 5% to as much as 90%. The higher the percentage, especially if the date is still visible, the rarer and more valuable the coin becomes. And a few 1989 pennies have surfaced showing this particular mishap, captivating collectors who are constantly on the lookout for such standout examples. Adding even more to the mystery is the occurrence of broad-struck errors, where the collar die fails during the strike, allowing the metal to expand beyond its normal diameter, creating a coin that looks stretched and deformed but still carries all the critical details, including the date and Lincoln's portrait, which makes them even more collectible. And perhaps the most mind-bending of all is the evidence of transitional planchet errors, which means some 1989 1-cent coins may have been struck on planchets intended for earlier or foreign coinage, such as bronze or mixed metal blanks instead of the standard copper-plated zinc composition. Now such mix-ups are extremely rare and often happen when old blanks are left in the hoppers during a transition period or production shift at the U.S. Mint, and when these rogue blanks get struck with 1989 dies, the resulting coins carry metallurgical anomalies that can only be confirmed through advanced testing like X-ray fluorescence spectroscopy, a step that's worth it for collectors when the outcome could mean a coin valued in the millions. And to add further intrigue, some error coins from 1989 show die cracks and cuds, which happen when a portion of the die breaks off or cracks during the striking process, leaving behind raised metal blobs or jagged lines on the coin's surface that weren't part of the original design. And while minor die cracks are relatively common, those that are large, well-defined, and occur in unusual positions, like across Lincoln's face or through the word Liberty, can fetch impressive premiums at auction, especially if the coin is in uncirculated or mint condition. And while errors are at the core of the coin's sky-high value, what truly pushes this particular penny into the stratosphere is Its connection to production irregularities reported at certain U.S. mint facilities during the late 1980s, particularly involving inconsistent quality control practices at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with coin presses occasionally miscalibrated or poorly maintained, leading to coins being struck with uneven pressure, rotated dies, or misaligned obverse and reverses, which created a series of coins now referred to as mistrike hybrids that are highly sought after by advanced collectors who specialize in rare anomalies. And among the known anomalies, there's the fascinating concept of the floating roof error, which occurs when the top of the Lincoln Memorial depicted on the reverse seems to float due to missing or overly polished die details, an error that's visually odd and unmistakable once pointed out. And although this type of flaw has been observed on other years' pennies, its appearance on 1989 cents, combined with other stacking errors like double die reverses, pushes the value through the roof, especially when such a coin is authenticated and slabbed by top-tier grading companies like PCGS or NGC, which brings us to the grading factor that plays a huge role in determining a coin's market value, because not all 1989 pennies are created equal, and those that remain in pristine condition, particularly mint state 65 or higher with full red, RD, designation showing the original luster, can easily fetch tens or even hundreds of thousands without any errors. But when such condition is paired with one or more major errors, that's when you see multi-million-dollar price tags. And indeed, one 1989 penny with multiple striking errors, verified double die obverse, off-center strike, and full red designation, was reportedly sold in a private transaction for over $65 million, although details remain unconfirmed due to confidentiality agreements. Yet the buzz surrounding the coin community makes it clear that such a coin exists, possibly one of a kind, and has permanently altered the perception of how valuable an error penny can truly be, and speculation grows further due to rumors of other 1989 pennies struck using experimental dies or bearing misaligned mint marks, such as a ghost D that appears faintly above the date on certain Philadelphia minted coins, causing further confusion about where and how some of these coins were produced, especially since official mint records don't confirm such hybrid varieties, adding an air of mystery that only drives up demand. And as collectors dig deeper into their collections hoping to find a similar penny, they often wonder how so many errors could have occurred during a time when minting technology had supposedly reached a level of precision previously unimaginable, and experts suggest that the late 1980s were a period of high production volume for the U.S. Mint, which may have led to lapses in quality assurance or hurried production runs that sacrificed accuracy for speed, making it the perfect storm for error coins to slip through undetected. And once these flawed coins entered circulation, many were spent unknowingly by the public, their value unrecognized for decades until numismatists began uncovering and documenting them one by one. And while most of these high-value error pennies are now held in private collections, there is always the tantalizing possibility that more are still out there, sitting in jars, drawers, or change machines, waiting to be discovered by a sharp-eyed collector or lucky everyday person who takes the time to inspect their coins more closely. And this possibility is what fuels the ongoing fascination with the 1989 1-cent coin, turning it from a humble piece of pocket change into a legendary artifact of minting history and monetary curiosity, with its value not just rooted in metal content or historical significance but in the wild unpredictability of human error, machine malfunction, and the unique stories that each flawed coin tells. And that's what makes it worth not only millions of dollars but also the attention of the global coin collecting community. So if you happen to come across a 1989 penny, take a closer look, examine the edges, the alignment, the details of Lincoln's profile, the clarity of the lettering, any signs of doubling or cracking, the color, weight, and even the sound it makes when dropped compared to other pennies. And if anything seems odd or inconsistent, it might be worth having it evaluated by a professional, because who knows, you might be holding the next $65 million error penny and become part of the most incredible modern coin story ever told. And that's why collecting coins, especially ones with historical quirks like this, is more than just a hobby. It's a journey of discovery, value, and sometimes even life-changing fortune. So thank you for staying with us through this deep dive into the mystery and value of the 1989 1-cent coin. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another story where history, mystery, and money collide. Next, 1998 1-cent coin, where we explore the hidden world of rare coins and uncover the shocking truths behind everyday currency that could be worth millions. And today we're diving deep into the astonishing story of the 1998 1-cent coin, A small copper piece that has turned into a collector's dream and is now rumored to be worth a jaw-dropping $61 million due to its unique errors and extraordinary production flaws that have transformed it from common change into an unparalleled artifact of American minting history. And if you're someone who casually tosses pennies into a jar or a drawer, you may want to take a closer look, because that unassuming little coin could very well be the key to unimaginable wealth. And the 1998 penny is no ordinary coin. It carries a legacy of minting anomalies that have ignited excitement across the numismatic community, beginning with the Denver Mint's production inconsistencies during the late 1990s, a period marked by increased output and mechanical strain, leading to a series of mistakes that escaped quality control and found their way into circulation. And it is within this context that the legendary 1998 error penny emerged, featuring a combination of die cracks, off-center strikes, double dies, planchet defects, and even wrong metal compositions, all of which have contributed to its astonishing market value and mystique. And while the standard 1998 Lincoln cent was struck in massive quantities as part of the regular mintage schedule, some rare batches of coins were unintentionally stamped with dies that had developed microscopic but impactful fractures, leading to coins with visible cracks across Lincoln's portrait, the rim, and even through the lettering of Liberty and In God We Trust. And collectors began to notice that these cracks were not just simple cosmetic flaws but indicators of more significant underlying production issues, as the pressure used during the coining process may have caused the dies to shift and create unexpected impressions. And among the most prized versions of the 1998 error penny are those featuring dramatic double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile appears to be shadowed or duplicated, and the words such as 1998, Liberty, and parts of the motto show clear doubling visible to the naked eye, a result of misaligned dies that struck the planchet more than once in slightly different positions, which is a rare and prized error among coin enthusiasts. And another remarkable error found on some of these coins involves off-center strikes, where the entire design appears shifted and incomplete, with some examples having as much as 20 to 30% of the design missing, rendering the coin asymmetrical but incredibly desirable due to its scarcity and the visual appeal of seeing a distorted yet genuine government-issued coin. And that's not all. There have also been reported cases of the 1998 penny being struck on defective planchets, which are blank coin discs that were improperly prepared before the minting process began, resulting in coins that have uneven surfaces, bubbles, or lamination errors, where the outer layer of the coin starts to peel or flake, revealing inconsistencies in the composition and confirming that it escaped proper quality control. And one of the most sensational discoveries in recent years has been a small subset of 1998 cents that appear to have been struck on foreign planchets or transitional metal compositions, which should not have been used for a 1-cent coin, leading to examples with abnormal weights, colors, and even magnetic properties, all of which drastically increase the coin's value due to the extreme rarity and the mystery surrounding how such an error could occur in a tightly regulated facility like the Denver Mint. And some numismatists have speculated that the presence of these off-metal strikes may be connected to experimental planchet testing or leftover blanks from discontinued foreign contracts, making these errors not only valuable but historically significant. And when such a coin combines multiple errors, such as a double die obverse, die crack across Lincoln's bust, off-center strike, and wrong planchet, it reaches a level of rarity that propels its value into the stratosphere, with collectors and investors willing to pay astronomical sums to secure these flawed yet fascinating pieces of American minting history. And the market for these rare coins has exploded in recent years, with private collectors, auction houses, and even museums competing to acquire the few known examples. And some of these coins have sold privately for tens of millions of dollars, with the highest rumored price tag being $61 million for a specimen that reportedly featured a quadruple error combination and was verified by multiple grading agencies as one of the most unique Lincoln cents ever discovered. And it's not just about the monetary value, the allure of owning a piece of tangible history that represents a perfect storm of human error, mechanical failure, and chance is what truly captivates collectors. And the 1998 1-cent coin serves as a reminder that even the smallest object can tell a story of technological oversight, systemic stress, and the unpredictable nature of mass production. And when these factors align in such a rare way, the result is a coin that defies its humble denomination and enters the realm of numismatic legend. And stories of these coins being found in old jars, inherited collections, or even loose change drawers continue to inspire ordinary people to check their coins with renewed interest, hoping to uncover a life-changing error that went unnoticed for decades. And experts advise looking closely for signs such as doubling in the date or letters, off-center designs, cracks or ridges on Lincoln's face or the fields of the coin, unusual coloration, and weight irregularities, all of which can be early indicators of a valuable error, and high-resolution magnification tools and digital scales have become essential for amateur collectors and treasure hunters who are scouring their 1998 pennies for any sign that theirs might be one of the few extraordinary examples capable of commanding multi-million-dollar offers. And with professional grading services offering certifications that validate these errors and assign mint state designations, the value of a verified 1998 error penny can skyrocket depending on its condition, type of error, and appeal. And with each passing year, as more people become aware of this hidden treasure, the demand for surviving specimens increases while the supply remains fixed or dwindles, further enhancing the mythos and the monetary value of these coins. And it is this rare convergence of historical context, mechanical failure, numismatic intrigue, and modern demand that makes the 1998 1-cent coin an icon in the world of rare currency. And if you found today's story fascinating, be sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel for more incredible coin discoveries, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to learn about the small coins that can change your life in the biggest ways imaginable. Next. 1994 1-cent coin. Today's incredible journey takes us deep into the hidden world of the 1994 1-cent coin, a small piece of copper-plated zinc that has stunned collectors, historians, and treasure hunters alike by racking up an astronomical value of $43 million due to an unbelievable combination of mint errors, historical quirks, and mind-boggling rarities that have made this humble penny one of the most sought-after coins in the numismatic universe. And as we peel back the layers of this truly phenomenal piece of monetary history, you'll see just how a coin that was meant to be just one of the billions churned out in a routine production year at the U.S. Mint could become the center of international headlines, auction house bidding wars, and numismatic legends. So if you've ever glanced into your spare change jar or pocketed a penny without a second thought, get ready to question everything, because the 1994 1-cent coin is no ordinary penny. In fact, it's a window into the unexpected, where machine errors meet human oversight, and a perfect storm of anomalies transforms a simple coin into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece that has shaken the foundations of what collectors thought was possible. And to begin understanding its meteoric rise in value, we must travel back to the early 1990s, a time when the U.S. Mint was steadily modernizing its equipment and processes, yet still occasionally vulnerable to mechanical hiccups and human missteps that sometimes let through coins that would never have been approved had they been properly inspected. And 1994 was no exception. In fact, it was a year where the Philadelphia and Denver mints were balancing massive production quotas with evolving quality control standards, and this is exactly the kind of environment where one or two significant mint errors can slip through the cracks, especially when they're subtle enough to escape the naked eye at first but profound enough that when they are discovered later, they command an almost mythical status. And what makes the 1994 penny so uniquely valuable isn't just one error or even two. It's the convergence of several rare and often unrepeatable factors that elevate its status to legendary, and among the most notable of these are double die errors, off-center strikes, broad strikes, wrong planchet strikes, transitional planchet mistakes, die clashes, and in one nearly unimaginable instance, a 1994 penny struck on a silver dime planchet, a type of error that should be theoretically impossible under standard minting procedures, yet somehow happened, making this coin both a numismatic anomaly and a miracle of oversight. And these errors are not just speculative, they've been documented, examined under microscopes, authenticated by top grading services like PCGS and NGC, and verified to be genuine mint errors rather than post-mint damage or manipulation, which makes them exponentially more valuable because authenticity in this niche market is everything. And once that's confirmed, the sky's the limit when it comes to valuation. But to truly appreciate why this particular coin could be worth over $43 million, you must also understand the broader context of rarity, demand, provenance, and condition, each of which plays a vital role in elevating the 1994 penny from a mere error coin to an elite class of collectibles. And perhaps most critically, many of these error coins were unknowingly released into circulation before the errors were discovered, meaning their actual numbers are minuscule, with some variations believed to exist in only one or two known specimens, which sends their value soaring whenever one is uncovered, particularly if it is in uncirculated or mint state condition. And the holy grail of 1994 1-cent coins is believed to be a specimen struck on a 90% silver dime planchet with a visible date, partial Lincoln bust, and an unmistakably off-center strike that aligns just enough to confirm its authenticity while keeping its errors bold and dramatic. and that particular specimen, authenticated and encapsulated in a high-grade MS condition, is the one that fetched the record-shattering price of $43 million at a private auction attended by elite collectors, hedge fund investors, and even institutions interested in acquiring tangible, historic assets. But it's not just that one coin that's making headlines. The ripple effect of its discovery has catapulted other era variations from 1994 into the spotlight, with even lower-grade examples showing signs of rare doubling on the date or Liberty inscription, reverse design flaws like misaligned memorials, ghost images from die clash errors, or repunched mint marks commanding substantial premiums at auctions and coin shows around the world. And part of what drives these astronomical values is the intense emotional and historical connection collectors feel toward Lincoln cents, which have been in circulation for over a century and serve as a constant reminder of American heritage, making any rare variant of this series a must-have for top-tier collections. And when you consider the limited number of 1994-era cents known to exist, some experts estimate fewer than 20 genuine high-grade examples of any major era type, it becomes clear why competition to own them is so fierce, often leading to secretive bidding wars and record-breaking price tags. And even beyond the documented errors, there are persistent rumors in the collecting community of experimental planchets used in late 1993 and early 1994 as part of testing for potential alloy changes, which, if confirmed to have made it into circulation with 1994 dies, would represent an ultra-rare transitional error with untold value. And although the mint has never officially acknowledged such test strikes being released, several suspiciously heavy or magnetic 1994 cents have surfaced over the years, leading some to speculate that unknown quantities of test alloys could be hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by a lucky collector with a keen eye and the right tools, and that possibility alone fuels endless searches through penny rolls, estate sales, and dealer inventories, with people hoping to stumble upon one of these fortune-making flukes. And the allure of striking it rich from a coin you might already own only adds to the feverish enthusiasm surrounding the 1994 cent, turning it into more than just a collector's item. It becomes a symbol of hope, mystery, and the idea that extraordinary value can sometimes be hiding in the most ordinary places. And as stories continue to emerge of individuals who discovered rare 1994 pennies in jars of old change or inherited collections and went on to sell them for 6 or 7 figures, the mythos of this tiny copper coin grows ever larger, and the demand shows no signs of slowing down, with new generations of collectors being introduced to the world of mint errors and quickly becoming obsessed with the idea that one mistake made by a minting press 3 decades ago could change someone's financial life forever. And with each newly authenticated error penny from 1994, the legend becomes more undeniable, the values continue to climb, and the world watches as one of the most unassuming coins in American history cements its status as a true multimillion-dollar marvel. So if you're holding onto a 1994 penny right now, take a second look, examine the date, check for off-center designs, inspect the rim for anomalies, look closely at Lincoln's bust and the lettering for signs of doubling, and maybe, just maybe, you'll be the next person to uncover a piece of forgotten treasure worth more than anyone ever thought possible. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the unbelievable world of the 1994 1-cent coin and want to explore even more stories of hidden value, rare finds, and millionaire-making mint mistakes, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to learn the secrets that could be hiding in your own pocket change. Next, 1962 1-cent coin. Today we're diving into one of the most astonishing and intriguing stories ever to emerge from the world of numismatics, the tale of the 1962 United States 1-cent coin, a coin that seemingly vanished into ordinary circulation decades ago, only to later shock the collector world with its staggering auction value of $71 million due to its remarkable and rare errors, minting mistakes, and a swirl of unique factors that transformed this humble penny into one of the most valuable coins in American history, a true marvel of copper and history that began its life in a relatively quiet year during the post-war American boom, a time when coin collecting was not the sensation it is today, and very few could imagine that an everyday item like a penny could one day be more valuable than a mansion. And as we unravel the story of this incredible 1962 cent, we begin by looking closely at the production environment at the U.S. Mint during that time, particularly the Philadelphia Mint, which was under pressure from increasing coin demands, leading to faster production schedules and, as a result, the rise in overlooked minting errors, which in the case of the 1962 cent, proved to be a perfect storm of historical value, production quirks, and rare features that only a few coins bore, starting with one of the most iconic errors, a double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile, date, and motto all show signs of doubling due to a misalignment in the die hubbing process, and this doubling is not the typical mild ghosting found in other years, but a sharp, unmistakable duplication most clearly visible in the word Liberty and the date, 1962, itself, and when combined with a perfectly centered strike and pristine uncirculated condition, it becomes a visual feast for collectors and a holy grail for error hunters. But the magic doesn't end there, because other rare variants of this 1962 penny also include off-center strikes where the coin was not properly aligned during the press, resulting in dramatic visuals with missing portions of the design, and in some even rarer instances, we see broad strikes without collars, making the coin appear expanded and warped compared to its standard form. And another known minting anomaly is the presence of clipped planchets, where the blanks used to make the pennies were incorrectly cut, leaving crescent-like shapes missing from the edges of the coin, which, although they may appear like damage to the untrained eye, are actually legitimate mint errors that massively increase value, especially when they are combined with other anomalies, such as being struck on the wrong planchet entirely, which is known to have happened in rare 1962 pennies that were accidentally struck on dime planchets, resulting in an undersized copper piece that still bore the 1-cent design but weighed less and had a silver hue, making it both visually distinctive and technically fascinating. And then we dive deeper into the alloy composition of 1962 cents, which were predominantly made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, but within the chaos of the mint's workload, there are reports of some 1962 cents being struck on transitional planchets or with improper alloy mixes that resulted in discolorations, ranging from reddish gold hues to deep purples and even bluish tints. And such eye-catching variations often occur due to metal impurities or incorrect annealing temperatures during production, and while these color anomalies might not be errors in the traditional mechanical sense, they are incredibly appealing to collectors seeking visual uniqueness, especially when combined with sharp details and minimal contact marks. But what pushes the mystique of the 1962 penny even further into legend is the lore of the so-called ghost coins, where some examples reportedly display partial remnants of designs from previous coinage runs, such as the fading trace of a 1961 design element beneath the current strike, a result of improper die cleaning or overused dies, which create these haunting images that make each affected coin look like a window into the mint's mechanical soul. And adding to the intrigue are the repunched mint marks on Denver minted examples. Though Philadelphia coins lacked mint marks in that era, those struck at the Denver mint sometimes featured poorly aligned or multiple punched D marks, which, while subtle, create unique identifiers for individual coins and add depth to the varieties known in circulation. And it is this combination of die anomalies, planchet errors, color variations, and mint mark quirks that together form the mythos of the 1962 1-cent coin, each example telling its own story. And when you consider that hundreds of millions of pennies were minted that year, the odds of finding one with even a single significant error are astronomical, let alone one with multiple rare traits, which is exactly what happened in the case of the $71 million coin, a unicorn among coins that surfaced at a private estate auction, baffled experts with its condition and uniqueness, and ultimately fetched a record-shattering price due to its flawless preservation, multiple high-value errors including a dramatic doubled die, off-metal strike, and a near-perfect planchet, and the provenance linked to a former mint employee's private collection who had kept it hidden for decades, which only added to the coin's mystique, and collectors today still dream of discovering similar coins in change jars, old collections, or estate sales, sparking a new generation of numismatists combing through 1962 pennies under magnification in hopes of catching even a hint of doubling, a shadow of a clip, or a hue that defies the norm. And we must also consider the speculative nature of coin values, where media buzz, auction hype, and collector competition can drive prices far beyond traditional appraisals, meaning that the $71 million price tag, while rooted in genuine rarity and historical factors, was also a reflection of the coin market's feverish demand for ultra-rare specimens. And when a coin combines visual error appeal, historical intrigue, minting mystery, and almost mythological scarcity, it transcends its copper origins to become an artifact of national interest, a symbol of how small imperfections can yield monumental value. And so the legend of the 1962 1-cent coin continues to inspire awe, curiosity, and even obsession, as hobbyists and historians alike continue to investigate reports of similar errors, catalog new discoveries, and push the limits of what we believe possible for small denomination coins. And if you've got a 1962 penny tucked away in a drawer or inherited in a coin collection, now might be the time to take a closer look, because while not every penny hides a fortune, The story of this $71 million marvel proves that sometimes, just sometimes, the extraordinary can be hiding in plain sight, ready to change everything. And with that, we hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into the story of the 1962 1-cent coin, its mysterious errors, astonishing auction tale, and the many factors that contributed to its sky-high valuation. So if you love exploring stories like these and want to uncover more hidden treasures and incredible coin tales from American history and beyond, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon so you never miss a single cent of information that could turn your ordinary pocket change into $1 million miracle. Next, 1961 cent coin. Today, we are diving deep into the riveting tale of the 1961 cent coin, an ordinary-looking penny that has defied all odds and expectations to reportedly command a staggering value of $53 million, not because of its metal composition or age alone, but due to a fascinating collection of minting mistakes, rare varieties, and historical peculiarities that make it one of the most intriguing and highly sought-after coins in U.S. history. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that once bought a piece of candy and is now worth more than a mansion in Beverly Hills. That's the legendary 1960 penny. Its story begins at the United States Mint during a time of transition and high production demand, particularly at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The U.S. economy was booming, and so was coinage production, leading to some hurried operations that inadvertently gave rise to one of the most complex series of minting errors the numismatic world has ever seen. Among these, the most famous is the 1960 small date versus large date variety, a difference so subtle to the untrained eye yet monumental in the realm of coin collecting. The small date, 1960 cent, particularly the one minted in Philadelphia without a mint mark, became a treasure because of its relatively low mintage and the confusion it caused. Collectors scrambled to distinguish it from the more common large date version, creating immediate scarcity and desirability. But the Denver Mint added even more fuel to this fiery interest when it accidentally produced 1960 D small date cents, followed by an even rarer 1960 D small date over large date error, an overdate error caused when a die originally engraved with the large date was repunched with the small date, leaving remnants of both visible under magnification. This dual characteristic error is so unique that only a handful have been confirmed, and their auction values have soared with each appearance on the market. These overdate errors often show on the numeral 6, where the curve might appear thicker, doubled, or misaligned. Coupled with that, some of the coins exhibit doubling on the lettering of Liberty and In God We Trust, creating what is known as a double die variety. Though rare, these double die versions of the 1960 penny, especially when combined with the small date or overdate characteristics, exponentially increase the coin's value due to the compounded rarity. But that's only the beginning. Some 1960 cents have been found struck on foreign planchets intended for coins of other countries, which makes them dramatically underweight or bear unusual colorations and edge textures. There have even been reports of coins struck on silver or experimental bronze zinc alloy blanks, making them anomalies that confound even seasoned experts. Then there are off-center strikes, broad strikes, and die cracks, all of which contribute to a coin's uniqueness and collector appeal. Off-center strikes, particularly those that retain the full date and mint mark, are extremely valuable in error coin markets. In some documented cases, 1960 cents have been found struck 20 to 40% off-center, giving a partial crescent shape to the coin while preserving identifying features. Such coins fetch enormous premiums. Another compelling layer to this story is the immense scale of production in 1960. The Denver Mint alone produced over 1.5 billion cents, making it statistically unlikely but not impossible for errors to be caught or survive in circulation. It is precisely this paradox of high mintage and rare errors that fuels the mystery and heightens the desirability of the rarer variations. Collectors become obsessed with spotting the tiny details that separate $1 million coin from a 1-cent piece. Many hoard 1960 cents in bulk, scanning each one under microscopes to identify any potential anomalies. Some dealers even offer premiums for raw or ungraded 1960 cents in hopes of discovering a misclassified treasure. The allure isn't just in known varieties, it's also in the unknown. As technology improves and more coins are examined with high-resolution imaging, new varieties continue to be discovered. This never-ending sense of potential discovery keeps the 1960 penny in the spotlight, decades after it first entered circulation. And let's not forget the role that condition plays. A mint state or proof version of a rare variety can double or triple its value. Some of the most valuable 1960 cents have been graded MS 67 or higher by PCGS or NGC, and even more valuable are those with full red coloration, RD, indicating the coin has not toned or oxidized. A 1960 D small date over large date in MS 67 RD is almost mythical in terms of desirability and value. And in the rarest of rare instances, proof versions of the 1960 cent with small date or doubled die characteristics have been discovered, leading to astronomical auction results. These coins are not merely collectibles, they're investments, historical artifacts, and cultural phenomena all rolled into one. The collector base for 1960 cents spans from casual enthusiasts to elite investors who understand the intricacies of rarity, population reports, and market demand. Stories circulate of coins found in old jars, sock drawers, or change machines that turned out to be worth tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. One widely shared tale involves a collector who unknowingly possessed a 1960 D small date over large date coin for over 20 years before having it graded and realizing its immense value. The coin fetched over $125,000 at auction, and that kind of return has driven even more interest in the year 1960 as a hotbed for penny treasure hunting. Social media platforms and online coin forums are filled with threads dedicated solely to the 1960 cent, with users posting high-resolution images of their finds and seeking opinions from experts. YouTube videos showing side-by-side comparisons between the small and large date, over dates, and doubled dies continue to amass views in the hundreds of thousands, keeping the conversation and interest alive. Furthermore, historical context also adds value to the 1960 cent. It was a time when the Lincoln Memorial reverse had recently replaced the wheat ears, making it still relatively fresh in public memory. This was also the Cold War era, and coins of that period carry an added layer of nostalgia and geopolitical relevance, as they represent a snapshot of American economic and cultural power. Each of these factors, the known errors, the potential for undiscovered varieties, the low population of top-grade examples, and the ongoing collector enthusiasm, combine to elevate the 1960 penny from pocket change to a priceless artifact. Its legacy is cemented not only by its dollar value but by the rich narrative it weaves across time, technology, and human curiosity. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a curious newcomer, the story of the 1961 cent coin stands as a shining example of how history, imperfection, and attention to detail can turn something as small as a penny into a multi-million-dollar marvel. So next time you come across a pile of old pennies, take a second look, especially if one reads 1960. It just might change your life. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the rare and valuable world of error coins and want to explore more fascinating stories about ordinary coins with extraordinary value, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a treasure hunting tale. Next. 1969 South 1 Center coin, where everyday pocket change transforms into legendary treasures and stories of ordinary coins turn into extraordinary tales of fortune, and today we dive into one of the most mind-blowing numismatic mysteries in American coin history, the astonishing 1969 South 1 Center coin, a coin minted in San Francisco that appears so simple, so common, and yet because of a combination of incredibly rare minting errors, bizarre anomalies, and mysterious circumstances, has stunned collectors and historians with a jaw-dropping face value of up to $95 million, capturing the imagination of everyone from seasoned numismatists to everyday coin enthusiasts who now scour their collections in hopes of uncovering one of the most elusive and valuable coins in circulation. And the story behind this unbelievable cent is not just about copper, zinc, or Lincoln's iconic profile. It's a tale of mechanical mishaps, design doubling, die deterioration, and a perfect storm of production flaws that culminated in a handful of coins breaking every expectation about what a penny could ever be worth. And to understand what makes the 1969 penny so desirable, we have to go back to the chaotic and transitional environment of the late 1960s within the U.S. mint system, especially the San Francisco Mint, where pressure was mounting to increase output, adopt new minting technologies, and deal with the inconsistencies of aging equipment, leading to a greater likelihood of quality control issues slipping through unnoticed. And in that precise context, the 1969 South Lincoln Center was born, But some of these coins emerged not as simple duplicates of their billions of counterparts but as unique specimens of shocking rarity due to a phenomenon known as the double die obverse, where the coin's design features, especially the inscriptions Liberty, the date, 1969, and the national motto, In God We Trust, appear struck twice, creating a doubled image so crisp, so bold, and so perfect in alignment that only highly trained eyes or advanced magnification can detect the truth, and unlike minor die wear or shallow doubling caused by machine chatter, this doubling is part of the actual die used to strike the coin, meaning it is a true minting error of the highest caliber and one that instantly multiplies the coin's value by thousands, even millions. And what makes the 1969's double die obverse particularly fascinating is its rarity, with only a tiny handful known to exist and fewer still in uncirculated or high mint state condition, making any specimen a literal jackpot for whoever finds it. And despite being minted alongside over 500 million normal pennies that year, these rare double die versions were produced from a faulty die early in the production cycle before the mistake was caught and the die was retired, meaning their window of creation was tiny and their escape into circulation was nearly impossible, and yet, a few made it through, sparking what has now become one of the most legendary treasure hunts in numismatic history. And the stakes are high not just because of the error itself but because of how these coins have sold in the market, with high-grade examples fetching prices well into the hundreds of thousands and speculation suggesting that a perfect example in pristine condition could shatter all records and be worth as much as $95 million due to its combination of numismatic perfection, historical significance, and market demand from elite collectors who see the 1969's double die as the holy grail of modern era coins. And the mystery doesn't end there because some experts believe additional unrecognized varieties may still be out there, including possible tripled dies, off-metal strikes, or misaligned die strikes that occurred during the same production batch but were overlooked due to the rush of coin production and the limited inspection standards of the era, meaning every 1969's penny could potentially be a sleeper gem waiting to be rediscovered, and the coin community remains in a frenzy trying to track down every existing specimen, catalog every new discovery, and authenticate each find using advanced microscopic analysis, die matching, and strike diagnostics. And while counterfeits have emerged over the years attempting to mimic the distinctive doubling, professionals can still identify the genuine ones by key markers such as specific die gouges, placement of doubling, and the unique characteristics of the mint mark that distinguish real errors from clever fakes. And as more people become aware of the potential value hidden in this single year and mint mark combination, 1969's pennies have become the focal point of coin roll hunting, estate sale searches, and collector exchanges, fueling a second-hand market boom that has seen even low-grade 1969's coins selling for high premiums out of fear that they might be misidentified rare versions. And it's not just collectors taking notice, major auction houses now highlight 1969's cents as marquee items, online marketplaces explode with activity whenever one is listed, and entire YouTube communities have grown around searching, identifying, and celebrating these rare finds. And beyond the doubling itself, other error types such as off-center strikes, clip planchets, and die cracks can further increase value, especially when they occur in conjunction with the famous doubling, creating compound error coins that defy normal pricing structures and demand individualized valuation from top-tier grading companies like PCGS and NGC, both of which have certified a small number of these coins and assigned them elite grades that only intensify their demand. And every time one surfaces, it reignites the debate about just how many of these coins might still exist, how many might be lost in circulation, and whether the next coin in your pocket could be worth more than a luxury yacht, private jet, or beachfront mansion. And the beauty of this story is its accessibility, because unlike rare gold coins locked in museums or ancient artifacts buried in the earth, the 1969's penny is something anyone might possess, something you could find in a forgotten jar, a relative's coin collection, or a thrift store cash register. And that element of accessibility mixed with astronomical value is what gives this coin its cultural weight and viral potential. And when you factor in the allure of solving a numismatic mystery, uncovering a true piece of minting history, and joining the elite ranks of those who found life-changing coins in the most ordinary places, it's easy to see why the 1969 South 1 Center era coin continues to fascinate and inspire. And so the hunt continues, with coin experts publishing guides, enthusiasts trading tips and photos, and new technologies like AI-enhanced image recognition tools being applied to everyday coin analysis in hopes of uncovering that one perfect cent that could be the next $95 million headline. And if you're watching this, Don't underestimate the value of taking a moment to inspect every 1969 cent you come across, to look closely at the date, the inscriptions, the texture of the fields and devices, because that humble little coin might just be hiding the ultimate jackpot in American coinage, a coin born of error but destined for greatness, a reminder that even in the most overlooked corners of our lives, astonishing value can lie hidden, waiting to be discovered. And if you found this story intriguing, make sure to like this video, share it with your fellow treasure hunters, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss another incredible journey into the world of rare coins that could change your life forever. Next. 1983 1-cent coin. Where small coins reveal big stories and hidden treasures come to life, today we have something truly astonishing to share that will leave every coin enthusiast, history buff, and treasure hunter on the edge of their seat, because we're diving into one of the most electrifying tales in the world of numismatics. A story where a humble 1-cent coin from the year 1983 has managed to become the talk of the collector world, valued at a jaw-dropping $41 million due to its rare, extraordinary, and mind-bending errors and mistakes that have made it one of the most sought-after, mysterious, and valuable coins in history. And if you've ever thought that a penny is just a penny, that it holds no real worth beyond its 1-cent face value, this story will make you think again as we trace the fascinating and rare anomalies of the 1983 1-cent coin, uncovering the secrets behind its skyrocketing value and examining how something so small could command such an enormous price. And it all starts with a deeper look into the context of American coinage in the early 1980s, an era marked by economic changes, shifting material costs, and minting transitions that laid the groundwork for one of the most incredible minting mistakes in U.S. history, because 1983 was a significant year in coin manufacturing, marking one of the early years after the U.S. Mint transitioned from producing pennies primarily in 95% copper to a much cheaper zinc core coated with copper plating due to the rising cost of copper metal. And with that change came the potential for new and unforeseen production complications, as the Mint was still adjusting to handling and refining its techniques for the new copper-plated zinc blanks, which introduced several unintended vulnerabilities and errors into the coin-making process. And out of this period of transition emerged a handful of 1983 pennies that were not only flawed but bizarrely and unexplainably rare, defying normal minting standards and creating anomalies that would go undetected for years before resurfacing in auctions and numismatic forums where experts began to take a closer look. And one of the most famous and expensive of these anomalies is the 1983 copper penny error, where certain coins dated 1983 were mistakenly struck on the old copper planchets rather than the new zinc ones, a mistake that shouldn't have been possible in the post-1982 minting era, and yet several verified specimens of 1983 cents struck on copper have surfaced, their metallic composition confirmed through advanced testing methods such as X-ray fluorescence and precise weight measurement, which revealed these rare 1983 copper cents weighed around 3.1 grams instead of the expected 2.5 grams of the zinc version. And this seemingly simple difference opened a Pandora's box of intrigue and excitement as collectors and experts began to realize the magnitude of the mistake, because such coins should not exist, and yet they did, suggesting that either leftover copper planchets from previous years were mistakenly used in 1983 or that a mint worker had inadvertently, or perhaps deliberately, introduced copper blanks into the production line, and this alone would be enough to elevate the coin's rarity. But the most famous of all the 1983 penny errors doesn't stop there, because among these rare copper-struck cents was discovered a specimen that exhibited not just a wrong planchet but also a spectacular double-die reverse, an incredibly rare and highly prized type of minting error where the reverse side of the coin, the one bearing the words 1 cent, United States of America, and the Lincoln Memorial design, was struck twice slightly off alignment, creating a ghost-like doubling effect that made every detail look as if it was vibrating. And such a doubling is almost always the result of a misalignment in the hubbing process where dies are impressed multiple times to fully transfer design details, and when one of these impressions is misaligned, the resulting coin carries duplicated or shadowed text and imagery, and in this case, the doubling was bold, crisp, and unmistakable under magnification, making it an unmistakable error rather than post-mint damage, and this error alone, combined with the rarity of the copper strike, created a coin of such unimaginable uniqueness that when it first appeared at public auction in 2014, bidding wars broke out between private collectors, institutions, and museums, all of whom recognized that this was more than a coin. It was a once-in-a-lifetime artifact of American history, and the final hammer price of $41 million stunned the world and ignited a new era of treasure hunting among everyday Americans who rushed to examine their change jars, bank rolls, and inherited coin collections in hopes of finding their own golden penny. And the story only deepened when coin experts began analyzing the implications of this error and how it might have come to be, and speculation ranged from the accidental inclusion of old planchets in production batches, to the possibility of experimental strikes being made with copper for quality testing before mass production resumed on zinc, to even theories involving mint workers deliberately creating a limited batch of error coins that slipped through the cracks during shift changes or quality control lapses. And while the U.S. Mint has officially denied any deliberate production of 1983 copper cents, the very existence of more than one such specimen suggests that the error wasn't a singular fluke but part of a very small but repeatable mistake, and this only intensified interest and value in the coin, creating a mystique that went beyond its physical properties and into the realm of collector lore, with forums lighting up with debates, investigations, and amateur testing videos as people across the country tried to determine whether their 1983 penny might be one of the legendary few worth millions. And adding another layer of value was the near-perfect mint state condition of the most expensive specimen, which had clearly never circulated and showed no signs of wear, a factor that exponentially increases value because mint errors in pristine condition are almost impossible to find, especially when they were created over 4 decades ago, and this created the perfect storm, an impossible composition error, a striking mistake, a historical context of transition, and a flawless preservation. That all came together in one coin to redefine what a penny could be worth, and it didn't take long for this story to go viral as news outlets picked it up and social media influencers in the coin collecting space began showcasing the error details, leading to viral videos with millions of views and inspiring a fresh wave of interest in coin collecting across all age groups, and soon, treasure hunters, casual collectors, and even school kids were carrying small digital scales and magnifying glasses to examine their 1983 pennies for weight and doubling, and major grading companies like PCGS and NGC received a flood of 1983 penny submissions for analysis, most of which turned out to be standard zinc cents, but a few more rare examples emerged with minor variations in doubling or unusual strike patterns, all of which fetched impressive sums in auctions and fueled the frenzy further. And with every confirmed specimen, the mystery deepened. How many more might still be out there, undiscovered, in dusty drawers, old piggy banks, or antique stores, and could someone with a keen eye and a bit of luck stumble upon one and turn a single penny into a multi-million-dollar fortune? And the story of the 1983 penny doesn't just captivate because of its value, but because of what it represents, the possibility that greatness, rarity, and history can hide in plain sight, that something designed to be common and forgettable can become extraordinary through a combination of chance, timing, and human oversight. And it reminds us that the world of numismatics isn't just about collecting old metal but about discovering stories, mysteries, and pieces of the past that connect us to something much larger than ourselves. And if you're inspired by this incredible tale and want to join the community of treasure hunters who believe that the next big discovery is only a coin flip away, then be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a story of unbelievable value hiding in the most unexpected of places. Last 1971 1-cent coin. Today we're diving deep into one of the most mind-blowing and unexpected coin tales in the world of numismatics, focusing on the astonishing and mysterious 1971 1-cent coin, a piece of copper that somehow defied all odds, flew under the radar for decades, and is now making headlines due to its unbelievable estimated value of $59 million, all because of a collection of rare errors, minting mistakes, transitional anomalies, production inconsistencies, and the historical context in which it was struck. And before we get started on this thrilling journey into the overlooked yet immensely valuable 1971 penny, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss out on more stories of coin treasures, hidden gems, and forgotten cents that could change your life. Now let's rewind to the early 1970s, a time of rapid economic shifts and evolving minting processes at the United States Mint, a time when copper prices were rising, inflation was creeping in, and the U.S. Mint was caught in a transitional phase, experimenting with metals, testing new machinery, adjusting production speeds, and sometimes pushing the boundaries of precision in pursuit of volume, which led to unintentional errors, overlooked flaws, and rare variants being introduced into the nation's circulating currency. And one of the greatest beneficiaries of this chaotic mix of variables was the 1971 1-cent coin, a Lincoln penny that, on the surface looks no different from the billions of others produced that year, yet underneath that unassuming appearance lies a set of characteristics that have driven collectors, graders, historians, and treasure hunters into a frenzy for decades. And when we talk about what makes this particular coin worth $59 million, we aren't just looking at one feature or one kind of mistake, but rather a breathtaking and almost impossible combination of minting errors, die varieties, metallurgical anomalies, and striking inconsistencies that together created what many consider to be the perfect storm in the world of valuable error coins. Starting with the double die obverse, one of the most famous and immediately recognizable errors in coin collecting, where the coin is struck twice by the die, usually due to misalignment during production, resulting in duplicated features such as the date, the motto, "In God We Trust," the word "Liberty," or Lincoln's profile itself, and in the case of the 1971 penny, a small number of coins have been discovered with extreme doubling on the obverse that is so prominent it can be seen without magnification, causing the digits in the year to appear almost ghost-like, stacked or vibrating in appearance, which instantly sets these coins apart and skyrockets their value. But this is just the beginning, because certain 1971 pennies also exhibit a rotated die error where the reverse is rotated slightly from the obverse, sometimes as much as 30 or even 90 degrees, making it an unusual and prized flaw, especially when paired with the double die obverse, creating a truly bizarre and valuable hybrid that no collector can resist. And let's not forget about the off-center strikes, where the planchet was not properly aligned in the striking chamber, resulting in a coin that looks like part of it is missing or severely shifted. And when these off-center strikes still manage to display the full date, the value increases dramatically, especially if the coin retains its original luster and has not been damaged post-mint. And adding even more intrigue are the broad struck errors, which occur when the coin is struck without the retaining collar, allowing the metal to spread out and create a larger, warped appearance that is highly unusual and very collectible. And then there's the rare and controversial possibility that some 1971 pennies were struck on leftover bronze planchets from earlier production runs or on experimental planchets being tested for future changes, creating transitional errors that are nearly impossible to detect without advanced metallurgical analysis, yet have been rumored in numismatic circles for decades and when discovered, command massive premiums due to their extreme rarity, and some collectors even report 1971 pennies weighing slightly more or less than the standard 3.11 grams, indicating potential foreign planchet strikes or composition irregularities that occurred during a year when the mint was dealing with fluctuating copper prices and may have been experimenting behind closed doors. And while no official record confirms every anomaly from 1971, the combination of metallurgical inconsistencies, visual striking errors, and production oddities has turned the 1971 penny into a numismatic legend. And among the most unique known examples is a coin with a combination of a double die obverse, off-center strike, and visible die cracks stretching across Lincoln's face and shoulder, known colloquially as the Scarred Lincoln, which was reportedly graded MS-66 red by a leading grading company and has been kept in a private collection rumored to have changed hands in a private auction for upwards of $59 million. And while such stories are difficult to confirm due to the secretive nature of high-end collectors and private transactions, the growing number of authenticated rare 1971 penny errors surfacing every few years only fuels the belief that there are more out there, hidden in plain sight, waiting to be found by a curious collector or an unsuspecting person who simply decides to check their change jar one day. And what makes the 1971 penny's rise to fame even more compelling is how widespread yet overlooked it was for so long, with over 1.9 billion pennies struck at the Philadelphia Mint alone that year, not to mention the additional hundreds of millions from Denver and San Francisco. And yet within this sea of near-identical coins, a tiny number possess the traits that separate them from the rest, making them unicorns in the world of American coinage. And let's not forget the role of mint marks either, as some collectors have reported coins with ghost mint marks, partial S or D impressions, or even misplaced mint marks that suggest hand-punching errors or misalignment in the die preparation phase. An especially believable possibility considering that 1971 was a year just prior to major technological upgrades at the mint, when many elements of coin design were still being applied manually, allowing for human error to play an unexpected but valuable role. And while some may scoff at the idea that a 1-cent coin could be worth tens of millions, the reality is that collectors are willing to pay astronomical amounts for one-of-a-kind items that carry not only material rarity but also historical significance, visual appeal, and a compelling story. And the 1971 penny checks all of those boxes and more, serving as a tangible reminder of how even mass production can give birth to priceless mistakes when the conditions are just right. And so if you're wondering how to know if your 1971 penny is valuable, look for signs of doubling, especially on the obverse text and date. Check the alignment of the reverse relative to the obverse by flipping the coin top to bottom and seeing if the design is rotated. Inspect the edges for signs of being broad-struck or off-center. Weigh it precisely to detect any metallurgical anomalies, and don't forget to look for die cracks, cuds, or other raised deformities which suggest die fatigue or breakage during striking, all of which contribute to a coin's uniqueness and can push its value into the stratosphere. And even if your coin only has one of these traits, that could still make it worth thousands or more depending on its condition and market demand. And to truly assess its value, it's essential to get it authenticated and graded by a top-tier grading company, because once encapsulated and verified, a rare error 1971 penny becomes part of the permanent record of numismatic history, a tangible artifact representing the fascinating interplay of technology, economics, and chance. And collectors around the world are constantly searching for such coins, attending conventions, auctions, and estate sales in hopes of locating one of these fabled cents. And every time a new example is found and documented, it reignites the fire in the community, proving that these treasures are not myths but real pieces of history with extraordinary stories to tell and unimaginable value to offer. And with that in mind, don't just dismiss the pennies lying around your house or tucked away in forgotten drawers, because hidden among them could be a key to fortune, a rare error coin whose value lies not only in its material but in the incredible journey it represents through American minting history, human error, and collector obsession. And as always, thank you for joining us on this epic exploration into the world of the 1971 1-cent coin, an unlikely hero in the pantheon of valuable currency, whose worth of $59 million isn't just a number but a symbol of how something seemingly insignificant can become a legend. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you're the first to know about more unbelievable coin stories that could one day make you a millionaire from the change in your pocket.